What's going on, everybody? This is Lady Luck here again. Thank you guys for checking out this video. I had to do this compilation of just content creators, YouTubers, podcasters that I have watched so far debunk and respond to Candace Owens' wildest conspiracy theories. This is just proof that I'm not alone in her being out of her mind at this point. So I just wanted to bring this to you guys just for great entertainment. I'm going to, state who the content creator is and their channel at the beginning of each clip that I show. But it is just unbelievable how Candace Owens continues to make headlines with her conspiracy theories and no factual evidence or documentation to debunk the stuff that she says. So, without further ado, please make sure you hit the like button and subscribe to the Lady Luck Club. I am still trying to hit 30,000 supporters. I know today, September 30th, was the target date, but we're going to keep pushing forward until we get there. And then next, it'll be 40,000, then 50,000, and maybe one day, gotta move to the right and allow something to go viral. But until then, we're gonna keep pushing and pushing out this great content for you guys. So just sit back and relax and get ready to laugh because this is about to get wild. Oh, and make sure you let me know your thoughts and comments below in the comment section. Let's get to it. First up, we have Tinashe Peter. Shout out to Tinashe Peter, Tinashe Peter, YouTube channel. And he's going to touch on, one of her craziest theories yet. Let's get to it.
Guys, happy Monday. Erica Kirk, man, she really is just a moment.
So mind you, this is the Monday right after Charlie's memorial service. This is Candace's Monday morning message after the service.
Speech that she gave, everybody was just wowed by her. I felt my energy personally, like last night going into that, I was effectively like soaring in the air above the convention center, like a dragon above, waiting for Erica to just be like, fire.
Isn't it interesting how she uses the imagery of a dragon? Now, for some of y'all out there, that might mean nothing at all. For others, who is referred to as the dragon, the great dragon, the dragon of old? I'll just leave that with y'all right there. I know some of y'all like to do y'all deep dive, so go ahead and research who is oftentimes referred to as the dragon. Interesting. Sometimes, again, you just can't help but slip up, especially when you got that type of spirit working in you.
And I was just going to come down and swoop in out of nowhere. All the politicians, all the fake people, everyone was just going to be in that moment toast. But she didn't call for war. Erica did not call for war. In fact, she did the exact opposite, which is what was so stunning. It was unbelievable. The forgiveness that she granted, the strength that it took for her to call for that forgiveness, it's just unmatched, and it really made a difference. And I was being serious when I tweeted that I think it was the most consequential speech in American history, a message that everyone needed to hear, including myself, a message of complete submission to Christ. And by the way, later on, we're also going to discuss another kind of submission to Christ, which is submitting yourself to truth. Kash Patel has now come out and issued a statement fully capitulating to the public insistence that they're lying to us. They are so clearly lying to us about what happened on the day that Charlie Kirk lost his life. Nothing they've told us thus far makes any sense. And
now, again, I don't know if y'all have the very same frame of reference that I do when I listen to things like this, right? I listen to the words that are being said, sure, but I look at body language, I look at context or context switches, I look at how things are tied together. And if Candace is good at one thing, it is at creating a narrative, right? She is able to create and weave a narrative in ways that few can. I wouldn't say she's necessarily the most intelligent, but she doesn't have to be. She understands how to create a storyline in order to hook in those who are susceptible to it. Now, she starts off with, wow, what an incredible moment. Oh my goodness, look at what I stopped on there. I was just about to say the performative aspect is something that has become clear to me over the last few months, right? There's almost a caricature of a person who is, sort of delivering these messages. And that confuses me and confounds me sometimes to say, how does everybody not see that? How is everybody not looking at this woman and thinking, this is an actor. This is a person who is playing a role of a real human being who believes in these things.
Next up, we have the Philos Project. Shout out to the Philos Project YouTube channel. All of the videos featured in this compilation, links will be in the description below. Let's get to it.
First thing that stuck out at me was that these were all photos from 6
5 years ago, back in 2016, almost a decade ago, when President Trump won the election. And they were close, but I don't believe that they were currently close. And something that I've seen, which is like this Israel derangement syndrome on the right, is this defense of Candace. And so I'm going to look at what Charlie's pastor said, but this is what people will often say. She said that the only two people that could stop her from speaking about Charlie is her husband, which we know he's not going to do anything, and Erica. So if Erica isn't stopping her, you do the math. People defending Candace, like she's just doing this out of the goodwill of her heart. I feel like what she's doing is out of love for Charlie. She didn't say anything negative about him or his family. The whole thing from his pastor smells something funny. So we're seeing people come out in droves and defend Candace as this like good-willed friend who's just trying to investigate this conspiracy theory, again, that she manufactured. And I just want everyone to take a step back. If you're a Candace fan, look at how many views she's gotten. All of her videos about Charlie have been monetized, except for maybe her tribute. But all of her episodes on him have been monetized with sponsors to the video, on top of the fact that she's getting millions of views each installment of this series, I guess we can call it. So she's profiting heavily, again, off an idea that she manufactured. And the idea that she could come out and say absolutely defamatory things about other people in relation to Charlie Kirk within a few days of him dying, and then say that Erica's the only person who can stop her, is disgusting. I'm like, where are all these people defending Candace? You want a widow to come out of her grieving to shut down your investigation is deplorable. And you know what's funny? Candace wasn't invited to Charlie Kirk's memorial service in Arizona, which we'll also look at that clip. And she kind of scoffed and brushed it off and said, well, if I'm investigating the feds, I can't go to a place where the feds are at. Like the self-aggrandizing and the appointment at which she has elevated herself, like, oh, you know, there's going to be world leaders there. There's going to be members of Congress there. The president of the United States himself is going to be there. But I am a target because I am just so powerful. I'm the truth teller. Does no one else see the narcissism? Okay, so really quickly, I want years ago, and let's just look at some of these pictures. There are a ton of people from TPUSA who have also said that Candace and Charlie, like these videos of them dancing, this is from like pre-Blexit, and these texts are from like, you can see how young Charlie is. These are not current or recent text messages. Same thing here. This is like 2015, 2016. You have pictures of them in the White House with President Trump. These are all very old pictures. She shared a text. Let's see. Again, Candace, the person who complains about no timestamps, there's no timestamp here. None of the texts that she has brought out about Charlie have been timestamped. So I think this is a very old picture as well. I think for everyone coming out and defending Candace, let's just take a step back. Apparently, all these mommy sleuths are so intelligent that they can piece together the hidden Jew throughout all of history. Let's take a step back. None of these pictures are current. Again, from the last 4 years, current. Not a single one of these. She only spends about 19 minutes talking about how much she loves him, and then she dedicates the end of the video to her authoritative claim that he was converting to Catholicism, which she now denies, and asks who said that I said that? You, Candace, you, around the what is it, the 20-minute mark? And then the other thing that I just found to be so interesting is Candace doesn't even follow, and I posted this on my own X, Candace doesn't follow Charlie or Erica on Instagram. And if, you know, you're going to come out and say that this man was your brother, that you can authoritatively speak to the fact that he's going through some sort of a spiritual revival, and yet you don't follow him on social media, something feels off. So I took a screenshot of this. I even added the date because Candace loves the timestamps. She doesn't follow Charlie, she doesn't follow Erica, and she doesn't follow TPUSA. So again,
next you have Straight Out of Context YouTube channel. Shout out to Straight Out of Context YouTube channel. The link to the video will be in the description below. Let's get to it.
Look at his mouth while he is saying it. She retweets this and quotes, Trump just allowing Israel to purchase our speech because he's entirely impotent when it comes to Bibi. Israel is so R-word that they don't realize this purchase will have the opposite desired effect. It had the opposite desired effect on January 19th when the ban went into effect. Everybody celebrated Donald Trump because the very next day, on January 20th of 2025, he was able to, by executive order, put off the ban to continue any type of negotiations between ByteDance, TikTok, whoever would be buying it. And we would assume one of the only people that has enough money to buy it would be Elon Musk, right? Of course, it looks like nobody has the money to buy TikTok, but several people coming together as investors might have enough money. And you can even ask AI. You can ask Google AI mode. You can ask Grok over on X. You can confirm this. It even says to me, you're correct, ByteDance is not selling TikTok directly to Israel. There's absolutely no proof whatsoever that Bibi Netanyahu, that Israel, that Zionists, that any Jewish people, any Jewish Americans are investing in the purchase of TikTok. So what she just tweeted and reposted 3 times is a direct lie. She hates Bibi Netanyahu so much that she's willing, with malice and ill intent, to lie.
Next, we have Jay Witt Podcast. Jay Witt Podcast, my brother in Christ. Personal good friend of mine and fantastic content creator. Let's hear what he has to say. Shout out to Jay Witt Podcast.
Bring down the odometer just a little bit. Slow her down just a little tad bit. Because, man, I've been running fast after her. In this example right here, she is outright lying to you. I'm sorry. My name is Jason, dearwokec@gmail.com. She is telling you a story that is unverifiable. And I want you to add this to your list. Because, again, if you're one of the Candace conspiracy cult members, I really need you to start keeping a list. Like you got your little pad of paper over here, and you start writing down every time she tells you a story and she says, I'll bring you the evidence. I'll show you later. Don't worry about it. Trust me, bro. Call the book the Trust Me, Bro book. She does this a lot. And it's crazy work. So let's go ahead and bring this in. Come on now. Come on. I got to build up a little bit. Come on. I got to build it up a little bit, but trust me, it's worth the wait. Ladies and gentlemen, no further ado. Let's go.
Anyways, this
Green hearts in the chat.
overwhelming feeling I had never experienced something like that since until about a week before, or actually, 10 days before Charlie got assassinated. And so I'm going to explain that to you because you guys who watch this podcast might have realized something, that we took the show off air randomly for the first couple of days in September. So I will describe to you exactly what happened. There at first was a elementary school shooting that happened at a Catholic school, and I was just concerned in a way that I had never felt so impacted. And I was going, something isn't right. Something is just not right. And I felt that there was some sort of an infiltration that was happening at schools. And best way that I can describe it in a sentence is that I sensed that the danger wasn't stopping there and that more was coming, and that I needed to take a look at just the process of hiring people at the school that my children were going to attend. And I did.
Okay, I got to stop right there. So 10 days before Charlie's murder, you had this foreboding feeling. This is exactly line upon line some of those quote unquote Christian prophets that have come out after Charlie Kirk's death. The exact same thing. I mean, it's almost like she's reading a script. But can you imagine her going to the school, asking the headmaster, the principal, the team in charge about their hiring practices? And the way she comes across here on screen, she's making an attempt to put her best face forward. How do you think she comes across when she's in person? Wait till she explains how the staff kind of brushes her off. I'm sorry, she's giving Karen vibes. Can I speak to your manager vibes? Watch this.
Just a cursory online search and some messages I found, which were not written by a teacher at the school, but someone who was adjacent to some teachers at the school, gave me pause for concern. In fact, explicitly what it was.
Okay, I'm gonna stop. I know, catch you on I know. Don't beat me up. Don't beat me up. Don't get me. I'm building something. Don't beat me up. She doesn't tell you where she found this information. I was just online. So where were you online? How did you were you on a message board? Were you on a YouTube channel? How did you find this information? She doesn't tell you. Again, she's just playing in your face. I'm gonna back up just a little smidgen, a little second or two, and let's go.
Sensed that the danger wasn't stopped.
Next up, we have Cherie Denise. Cherie Denise, YouTube channel. Shout out to Cherie Denise. Oh man, let's hear what she has to say. It's getting good, guys. It's getting good.
Understand why she's saying all the things I just wish somebody would say to her. You need to sit down. You need to be quiet. You're not telling the truth. You're being dishonest. She says that she's such good friends with Charlie Kirk. Then how come you didn't follow him on social media? How come you used to, but you don't anymore? How come you just started following his wife like a couple days after the assassination? I just don't believe you. How can you say that somebody was being so dishonest when you have misrepresented the closeness of your relationship to Charlie Kirk this entire investigation in order to get people to buy in to your right to discuss it? You have lied to us this whole time. Nobody's saying you didn't have a relationship with him, but was it this close? And, may I also say that if it's this close, if you were grieving Charlie Kirk to such an extent that you felt it necessary to post pictures and videos to talk about, I just am reading through his text messages to comfort myself, and here's all these pictures of he and I dancing back before, we were on the come up and back before he knew Erica. Honestly, it feels like she's in competition for her public grief, beside Erica. It feels, I saw somebody say this the other day, this feels like angry ex-girlfriend energy. And I mean, I don't know, you have a crush on the guy or something? Like, what is the problem here? Why do you feel like you need to publicly exercise your devotion for him when we know by every verifiable metric, every person who was in a close relationship with him can say unequivocally that you two were not like this? But if you were like this, according to how you say, why then is this your reaction to the idea of going to his memorial?
I said, there's no way we are going to this event now. There's a 0% chance. First and foremost, why are you saying anybody can go to it? You just buy a ticket to the event, and you're all working to try to get me to confirm that I'm going. And you're doing this as if you're trying to like push my buttons and be like, we got to make her get into her ego so she like shows up and like posts it on social media. Nope. Actually, you know, while I'm attacking the feds, maybe not going to a public event, which the feds are organizing, is probably a very good idea. I'm good. You know what I'm going to listen to Power on my headphones and go see Ye. How's that for a memorial for Charlie Kirk? That feels like the right thing for me to do right now. I'm not going to this memorial because it's strange.
You guys, is she for real right now? She wants to put on her headphones and go listen to Ye. She wants to listen to a song specifically that is all in service to self. I'm powerful. I'm amazing. Everyone's going to try to stop me, but no one will. Like, it certainly is her personal anthem for sure. But that's how you want to remember Charlie, by going to hang out with a guy who you are really impressed with yourself for being friends with him, even though everyone else is like, that crazy Nazi. You want to go hang out with this complete anti-Semite by yourself. I don't know where George Farmer, your husband, is, or your 4 kids, but forget them. Because right now you want to go be in your feelings and go listen to songs that glorify you and your power. And you want to go hang out with Kanye.
Next up, we have Rustlin KD. Rustlin KD YouTube channel. Shout out to Rustlin KD. Let's hear what he has to say.
You don't get to ask those questions. What's wrong with you, Mom? Why are you so scared?
The Candace Owens conspiracies are getting worse and worse, and no, that is not hyperbole. If you haven't been keeping up, we've been covering Candace's devolving views on the terrible and tragic assassination of Charlie Kirk. But this week, she has taken it to another level. Her latest theory is actually taken right out of a gangster rap beef in the 1990s, when the tragic assassination of Tupac Shakur was instantly pinned on his own best friend, Suge Knight, who was driving the car. Yes, that's right. It appears that Candace Owens is now alluding that Turning Point USA, the organization that Charlie Kirk founded, is potentially behind his actual assassination. So it's not just a multinational and federal conspiracy. Turning Point and Charlie's own best friends are now in on it. Don't believe me? Take a look.
The fact that Turning Point will not release the footage, okay? I don't understand it. Every excuse I have been handed for why they won't release it makes no sense to me. If you are under pressure, if people are starting to look at you funny as an organization, if they're thinking that, whether rightfully or wrongfully, if they are suspecting because they see this footage of someone quickly remove the SD cards that you guys had something to do with the assassination of Charlie Kirk, and you quite literally have footage that in theory should vindicate yourself, why wouldn't you release it?
You see, she weaved all this together because there was footage of the Turning Point staff taking the memory cards out of the camera that was behind Charlie Kirk. Footage that she claims she got to see over FaceTime that wasn't gruesome, wasn't bloody, and that she believes absolutely needs to be released for the entire public to see. As if the public has not already been traumatized by all this. But it doesn't just end there. She says she can't comprehend why they wouldn't release footage of their founder getting assassinated in a close-up shot. But it's her latest theory that is absolutely bonkers that we're going to get into in a moment. And some of the pushback I've been getting from folks on the internet because I made a case that Candace Owens clearly lied to you guys. Now, the response to this really takes the cake. So let's get back to this latest accusation regarding what she thinks Turning Point must do to appease her and her gut instincts.
Somebody is saying you are guilty of anything. They're like, Candace, you are absolutely guilty of breaking into my car. And I'm like, I have a camera right here that shows that I did not break into your car. Would it make sense if I was like, but I'm not going to release that. I'm not going to release that because it's not right. It's not right for me to release. What? It makes no sense. I don't understand why they would not release this. The idea that it's because the feds are saying the feds cannot arrest you. Last I checked, the feds cannot bring charges against you for releasing footage that you own. And since when do we trust the feds? Certainly Charlie didn't. He didn't believe we were getting the truth about the Epstein files and things of that nature. So I don't accept that.
So let me do my best to try to help Candace and all of her fans. God forbid something were to ever happen to your spouse and your best friend, Candace. And God forbid that the entire world witnessed it in 4K, live on the internet. And God forbid you had additional footage and people who were friendly or fans of your husband decided to just start asking questions on why you wouldn't release the additional angles of your husband getting brutally assassinated. Why would you need to? You saw what happened. Everyone saw what happened. Now, there's videos coming out about different angles from the shots, and maybe that wasn't the actual shooter from that angle. Listen, all of that could be true and possible, but she can't comprehend why Charlie's closest friends, his teams, his wife, doesn't want to make additional footage public. Footage that she claims she saw over FaceTime, which from her vantage point claims it wasn't that gruesome and that bloody, so you should just release it. I don't think you would want that to be released if that was of your husband, God forbid. So why am I talking about all this? I'm talking about all this because I think this mentality has crept into a lot of the Christian audience online. Candace claiming to be a Christian, my audience being Christian, there being some overlap. I think this is a line in the sand moment. I think we have to draw some boundaries about what we will and won't entertain as followers of Jesus. And I'm a person of truth, and I'm also a person of do unto others the way you would have them do unto you. And Candace can't seem to understand why a grieving widow who is trying to take over and run the organization that her husband founded wouldn't want that footage released. And while a certain pocket of the internet is hyper reacting to pictures like this, alluding and alleging that somehow Erica might even be in on this, which, by the way, that is a sign for I love you in sign language. I think this stuff needs to stop. And I have some additional questions for Candace that we're going to get to at the end of this video. And we're going to come back to this lie that she clearly told that for whatever reason, her audience just won't acknowledge. But before we get into that,
Next up, ladies and gentlemen, we have Steven Crowder. Steven Crowder has a large following. I think he may have a little bit more than Candace Owens at 5.17 mil. And of course, he has his thoughts on, her latest conspiracy theories, bees, honey hive, honeycomb, etc. Let's get to it.
A Polish underground symbol, like a Polish communist underground symbol that nobody would recognize outside of people who know what it meant. Strangely, I'm not kidding. I'm going to show you these messages. I came across what looked to me like a bunch of people talking about bees.
Okay.
I think all these people are really actually, quote unquote, bee farmers or saying that they farm bees.
There's a movie about
this lingo that I'm not understanding. There is some weird underground, it's like I sense like imminent danger is coming. And for some reason, I feel like there is an underground that has emerged at schools and it's like related to bees.
Let's talk about bees. So,
okay, Seinfeld.
Spoiler. Apparently. So, like I said, lots of come on. So, like I said, lots of conspiracy theories. And I listen. I want to be fair to people who don't always trust. I get it. I understand that. That's fine. Nobody is saying that you should just take the word of everybody out there, for this. But we need some evidence to be released. We need some other stuff to kind of put some of these theories to rest. For example, and listen, immediately when we saw the footage, immediately in conversations we were having, it said it looked like it hit his shirt first, because of the movement. At least a number of us did. Nobody made definitive claims or anything like that, but we look like it kind of looked like the shirt moved. Then you see kind of running down all of the different conspiracy theory trails in the midst of having questions. I think this is what happens. You end up with, maybe there's a situation where there is a conspiracy. Let's just hypothetically say there's one not related to Charlie Kirk, but something else. But in the interim between the event happening and police and investigators releasing information about what happened, there are so many conspiracies that you have no idea which one is the truth. You basically do yourself a disservice by running down so many lanes, trying to throw theories out that really have no evidence. Right? Enter Candace Owens. She is coming out with another theory, because I thought at first she was hinting, if not overtly saying potentially, that the Jews had something to do with this because they were pressuring Charlie Kirk and didn't like the stance that he was taking, and that there was money involved. And then why is Netanyahu saying this stuff about Charlie Kirk? He didn't know them. They weren't friends. But now she started with this legitimate concern about public schools and then quickly went off the rails.
There at first was a elementary school shooting that happened at a Catholic school, and I was just concerned in a way that I had never felt so impacted. And I was going, something isn't right. Something is just not right. And I felt that there was some sort of an infiltration that was happening.
Yes, it was a school shooting.
I did just a cursory online search, and some messages I found, which were not written by a teacher at the school, but someone who was adjacent to some teachers at the school.
Where are they?
Teacher adjacent. Concern. In fact, explicitly what it was,
bus driver,
was a Polish underground symbol, like a Polish communist underground symbol that nobody would recognize outside of people who know what it meant. And I just was like, okay, that's weird.
Yeah, that's what I was asking.
Online, and strangely, I'm not kidding. I'm going to show you these messages. I came across what looked to me like a bunch of people talking about bees.
Okay.
I think all these people are really actually, quote unquote, bee farmers or saying that they farm bees.
There's a movie about
this lingo that I'm not understanding? Why do I feel like it's related to students? I didn't feel good about it at all. There is some weird underground, it's like I sense like imminent danger is coming. And for some reason, I feel like there is an underground that has emerged at schools and it's like related to bees. That's what I said. And I messaged multiple people about this. My sister, here are a couple of more text messages to other people.
What other people? No answers whatsoever.
No, by the way, she doesn't typically post text messages, guys. So this is abnormal behavior.
That's right.
Yeah. You can look at the time frame here. This is 8:30, August 30th. I am not someone who normally publicizes text messages. There's imminent danger coming. Okay.
9 days prior.
Relating to a school. I think it's a communist underground, and I don't know why, but it has something to do with bees. Totally sensible thing to say to your husband.
Yeah, totally sensible thing to say to your husband. Yeah, if you're crazy, marry Todd Lincoln.
And last but not least, yours truly, Lady Luck Club. Of course, I had to chime in on this because this girl is just all over the place at this point. So let's tune in.
Actually start noticing as I'm looking into this investigation that everyone who was involved on that day, I mean, literally the person who spots the shooter on the roof, military, the person who says, oh, I just happened to be in the right place in the Flag of Halls where I saw him running, also in the military. And I'm starting to think, is it possible that this is like a military hit? I don't know.
No, girl. No. You said you're following the facts. Okay. So which branch of military? Because That's something that can be factually proven. These two people being from the military. Are you serious? Maybe because they have training and experience in this is why they're probably speaking out a lot more. But you're forgetting the rest of the thousands of people that were out there that actually posted videos, Candace. People who were there and recorded it, posted videos. How do you know they were all in the military as well? You might as well just say everybody that saw it was in the military. What facts do you have? What evidence do you have to even insinuate a possible military hit on a civilian, on American soil, on national television, based on now her other conspiracy theory, because he was possibly, shifting his stance on Israel? What would the military have to do with that? This is outrageous. Absolutely outrageous. A military hit? You can't make this sense. And there you have it, folks. The compilation of content creators, YouTubers, podcasters, and all of the sorts that have had to chime in and debunk Candace Owens on so many levels. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Make sure you hit the like button and subscribe to the Lady Luck Club. And if you want more of these compilations, I can do this for days, okay? I mean, she has said some out-of-pocket dumb stuff. I haven't even pulled up the debunking theories of Brigitte Macron being born a man, because I know I've personally talked about that myself. And you can check all of my content I've made on the international headliner Candace Owens playlist on my channel, because that is just how outrageous all of this is. Thank you so much for the support. Share this video and subscribe. Hit the like button and comment. If you want more of these compilation videos, I can produce more right here in the Lady Luck Club. And until the next one, thank you all so much. Lady Luck Club out. Deuces.